In this case study, you'll be introduced to two digital learning schools, as well as essential questions that allowed us to compare the two schools through our case study. You will learn about the electronic classroom of tomorrow. You will learn about Chicago virtual charter schools. We will then compare the schools and do a recap of the case study. A digital learning environment provides students with an alternative to a traditional school system. According to Keeping Pace, more students have access to more types of digital learning than ever before. Schools providing digital learning options are available either as fully online programs or as blended learning environments requiring students to attend a brick-and-mortar building a few days a week. To quote Keeping Pace, some of these charter schools have freedom from regulations that allows these schools to be more innovative than traditional schools. These schools offer more flexibility for students. Students have the opportunity to work at their own pace, have more flexible schedules, and participate in collaborative experiences. They are still required to attend class, complete assignments, and to pass state exams. Two charter schools that deliver free online learning programs are Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow and the Chicago Virtual Charter School. The first digital school you'll be introduced to in this case study is the Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow. In 2000, the Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow became the first online tuition-free public charter school in Ohio. Although ECOT is a fully online K-12 charter school, it provides students with a one-on-one experience with teachers and includes opportunities for interactions between students. The other school you'll be introduced to is the Chicago Virtual Charter School. It was created in 2006 and is the first virtual school in the city of Chicago. CVCS is part of the Chicago public school system and is a full-time tuition-free K-12 public school that uses a blended learning model. The school blends the traditional brick-and-mortar environment with online learning. Both charter schools were the first to be established in their areas, but to better compare the schools, a list of comparison questions needs to be addressed. The first question for consideration is what type of school it is, and what types of courses or curriculum it offers students. Next, the enrollment and projected growth will need to be determined. Other factors for comparison are to confirm the admission requirements, the selling points of the school, and the accountability for student achievement. Finally, the question of whether the school offers a strong community for students who do not do well in a traditional setting will have to be explored. Excelling in excellence is the motto of the Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow, the first and largest public online charter school in Ohio. ECOT offers free online education to K-12 students that reside in the state of Ohio. On top of the free education, ECOT provides all students with a computer, printer, scanner, and a broadband connection. ECOT's engaging curriculum is fully aligned to the Ohio Department of Education standards. Field trips, collaborative learning, science fairs, and activities are also part of the curriculum to keep the students motivated, engaged, and excited about learning. ECOT uses a learning management system called Equity, which enables instruction to online schools. Equity is part of the software firm IQ Innovations that is owned by the founder of ECOT, William Lager. ECOT's up-to-date technology, free tuition, and social interactions has many students interested in enrolling in this online school. Students who live in the state of Ohio and are between 5 years old and 21 years old at the beginning of the school year are able to enroll at Electronic Classroom of Tomorrow. If students are eligible, the family or student can request an enrollment kit to be sent to his or her home. All documents and signatures are then sent back to ECOT, and an acceptance letter will be sent in 3 to 5 days, as long as there are not any missing documents. Once the student has received the acceptance letter, they may log on to ECOT's Equity Learning System. At this point in time, students may withdraw from their previous school. With ECOT's easy and fast admissions process, enrollment has spiked from year to year. Not only is ECOT the largest online charter school in Ohio, but it is also the 10th largest school district in Ohio. When ECOT opened its internet connection in 2000, 2,270 students enrolled in the online program. Today, there are over 14,611 students that are enrolled at the Electronic Classroom for Tomorrow. Through the years, attendance keeps increasing by 1,000 or more students a year at ECOT, and all Ohio online schools have an annual increase of 1%. With the rapid increase of enrollment, ECOT strives to hold students accountable for their achievement. ECOT believes self-motivation, dedication, and desire are key components to be successful. ECOT students are responsible for completing coursework for 25 hours a week, just like an Ohio public school student would. Students are allowed to complete this coursework online at their convenience and on their schedule. Students are also held accountable for logging in on a regular basis, or they will be subject to consequences under Ohio law. According to online versus face-to-face, in a virtual classroom, every student is in the front row because he or she has a one-on-one interaction with the teacher and is directly accountable for every question or exercise. Like all public schools, ECOT students are required to take Ohio Achievement Tests and Ohio Graduation Tests to graduate. ECOT takes into consideration that the many students they hold accountable are attending their school for many different reasons. According to Electronic Classroom for Tomorrow, ECOT provides benefits to many different students that do not fit in the traditional classroom. Through millions of dollars in funding, students with jobs, children, medical issues, careers as athletes and musicians, and are in need of fewer distractions, are some of the students who would benefit from an education at ECOT. ECOT also feels their online education can give bullied students a chance to learn in a setting where they feel comfortable in. The virtual school learning environment can eliminate and reduce the potential for social discrimination. Not only does ECOT benefit many different types of students, but they are taught by teachers who are licensed through the state of Ohio in a specific grade and subject. As accommodating, flexible, and popular ECOT may be, test scores, report cards, and graduation rates do not have the same high rating. ECOT's website states that over 2,500 students graduated from ECOT in 2013, but the state report card states a graduation rate of 38.4%, which is rated as an F. ECOT also received Fs in value added, gifted, and students with disabilities. In Ohio, third grade students are required to pass the state reading test in order to advance to third grade. In 2014, 278 third graders took the assessment and only 147 passed, which is a 53% passing rate. Chicago Virtual Charter School is a public charter school that functions within Chicago Public Schools. This school is held accountable by CPS to meet certain benchmarks and have certain policies in order to renew their charter. This is one of many charter schools in Chicago, but one of few virtual schools. Being a part of CPS, CVCS serves all students who are residents of the city of Chicago. CVCS is tuition-free public education. CVCS uses K-12 curriculum to create a blended and individualized learning experience. Being a public charter school, they are not selective enrollment. They do not have academic standards to get into the school. The only requirements to enroll are that the student must live in Chicago and a parent or guardian must be willing and committed to the responsibilities of being an at-home learning coach. Current enrollment at CVCS is 686. This is a 15.5% increase from the previous year. CVCS has shown steady growth and is looking to continue growing. CPS sets enrollment numbers for CVCS, and the school is required to meet certain attendance standards throughout the year. CVCS requires students to meet in a physical location once a week to address a legal provision that requires charter schools to not be home-based. In fact, Students are required to attend little more than 2 hours in the actual building a week, and most of the interaction between students and teachers happens remotely. Students are required to spend a minimum of 4 to 6 hours a day on schoolwork, but only about 30% of that time is exclusively online. This percentage is higher for high school. Student achievement is measured in a number of ways at CVCS. Students are required to take standardized tests mandated by the state of Illinois. In order to ensure success on these mandated tests, CVCS takes a variety of approaches to measure and ensure student growth. Student progress is monitored in each of their online classes by teachers and a parent who has committed to and signed a contract as their child's at-home learning coach. Informal and formal instruction is given during Class Connect online sessions with teachers, and students are expected to complete assignments and spend a certain amount of time on schoolwork at home. On top of all this, students have monthly study requirements on Study Island. Some of the benefits for students who attend CVCS are they get to work at their own pace, there's enrichment, there are advanced placement classes, and a CVCS's teacher's opinion is that this school can offer a great environment for inquiry and enrichment. However, it very much depends on a student's motivation. CVCS has a 5-star community rating, but only received 5 out of 10 stars from greatschools.org. While it has a high approval of those who attended, there is only a 43% graduation rate. CVCS seems to be a good solution for students who feel unsafe in their neighborhoods, as they only need to be outside on their way to or from school once a week. One important issue raised by the case study was determining which school is better performing while still meeting the needs of students. Although very similar, the graduation rate at ECOT is 38.4%. The graduation rate at CVCS is only 43%. The achievement differences between the schools could be attributed to the accountability of the students. At ECOT, the students needed to be more disciplined about going online since learning is at their convenience and on their own schedule. Students at CVCS have more support since guardians are required to sign a contract to be an at-home learning coach, which adds another layer of accountability. From the information available and focusing on the high school graduation rates, it can be concluded that the blending learning at CVCS was the more successful of the two.